This is Brew Crime, a craft beer and true crime podcast.
I'm Mike.
I'm Beck.
And I'm Nina.
And we're your hosts.
We pair a true crime story with a craft beer.
That Nina will probably hate.
Yeah, probably.
Whatever. You can find our show on all your favorite podcast apps, and if you can't find it, contact us and we'll try and change that.
We can be found at brewcrime.com or on all social media platforms at brewcrime.
Join us as we discuss the horrible crimes that surround us and try not to giggle.
The Oracle Network. Look deeper.
This is Dos Spookqueños,
a funnier look at the paranormal in New Mexico.
with your co-ghosts, Eric Carter Landine.
And Alex.
What is up, Alex?
Hey, Eric. How you doing today?
Oh man, I'm good. I am excited about this episode. So what do you got for me?
Well, I've got something that I'd like to talk to you about. It's pretty close
Is
to
it
what
the
you just
Church
talked
of
about.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Have you been saved?
Have you read the Book of Mormon?
Have you read the Book of Mormon? Have you? Just kidding, Mormons. Don't come after us.
We're not mad at you.
Yeah, we're not mad at you, man.
Unless you're Lori Vallow, we're pissed at you,
Yeah,
bitch.
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So this evening I would like to talk about a historical landmark here in Albuquerque.
Sounds good.
I'm going to be discussing the Hotel Parq Central, its history, what it is now, and the paranormal events that have been reported throughout time.
Can we just talk about for a second, it is, for those of you who are not from New Mexico, Hotel Parq Central is currently a boutique hotel.
Boutique.
Fancy schmancy.
Okay.
It's a small hotel. There's not very many rooms. And it's pretty pricey for Albuquerque.
I haven't stayed there. I've been there once when it was the Memorial Hospital, but I have not been there since.
And it has a pretty sweet rooftop bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's what I've heard. Well, you know, every hotel has a story.
yeah.
But the Hotel Parq, you see, was not always a hotel at all. The hotel has a long history, and some might say it's actually kind of dark history. And due to this, it's been considered one of the hot spots for paranormal activity here in the heart of New Mexico.
Dun, dun, dun.
So let's talk about some of the history of Hotel Parq.
Let's do it.
Okay. The building was originally built in 1926 as a hospital named the Santa Fe Hospital in Albuquerque.
Sounds suspicious.
Sounds so suspicious. The hospital was mainly used to treat the employees of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad Company that were either sick or had been injured on the job itself, which I can imagine was a pretty dangerous job. The property is over a city block, so 2.3 acres, and this includes 3 separate buildings, totaling 47,000 square feet.
That's pretty big.
For the time, it was huge, I'm sure.
Yeah.
One of the things that you really notice is the chimney.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and it's the same chimney from the original hospital. And it is a somewhat large property, but still feels rather small for a hospital, even for that time, in a sense.
Okay. Are you going to cover what you think that chimney is?
Well, I mean, I guess there's speculation. I've heard stories that was used that part of the building was a crematorium.
Yeah.
And that a lot of cremations and things were happening.
I mean, that chimney is really big.
It's right. It's not your normal chimney.
It's not like one on your house. It's
not at all.
Huge.
Yeah. In the past, the hospital was used as a tuberculosis center due to the dry air and the clear air found here in New Mexico. And doctors thought that it would help heal people faster suffering from this horrible disease that attacked the lungs. But unfortunately, most people at the beginning of the outbreak would not make it after contracting the disease. And it turns out, Eric, that what were you saying?
Yeah. New Mexico's climate and air was thought to be beneficial for TB patients, but it turns out it was actually more harmful than helpful.
How is it harmful?
I don't know. It wasn't very clear in the research I was doing, but it seems like the elevation has something to do with it, probably because you're not getting enough oxygen. But I would like to say that this episode is brought to you by methicillin antibiotics, which is the cure for tuberculosis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Go Big Pharma, go.
Thank you for that sponsorship.
Can you imagine though, like if we were sponsored by that, we'd probably be really rich right now.
That'd be fantastic.
I know, but we only have like 25 listeners, so it's fine.
26 listeners right now. We're growing. 6 million strong.
And growing.
Then in the 1940s, the hospital was renamed the AT and SF Hospital, and it stayed that way up until the 1980s when they changed the name to Memorial Hospital. The Memorial Hospital was a psychiatric hospital for children mainly.
Wow.
And for 30 years, it was a place where these children and young adults suffering from mental illness and conditions were able to find the care that they were needed. The hospital had remained operational up until 1982 when it was finally closed, and then it was used for different health-related issues. Memorial Hospital provided very specific psychiatric services to children and teenagers, as well as residential treatment center for kids between 5 and 11 years old. And I myself cannot imagine what it must have been like to be in a psychiatric hospital at such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, even if their tactics and techniques of treatment were not harmful, just the idea of being there probably created its own trauma for people.
You're separated from your family.
Yeah.
You're in a strange place and strange things are happening. That's a lot of,
it's a lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
Yeah.
The hospital itself had about 58 inpatient and 13 treatment beds. And if you think about it, that is a fairly small hospital.
Yeah.
I guess for that time, it could have been, quite large.
It's okay. There were only 7 people living in Albuquerque at the time anyway.
Yeah, right. And they were all at this hospital, apparently. And at this time, not only was the hospital listed on the National Register of Historical Places, and it also was estimated at the time to be about $4.6 million in value, which for that time is a ridiculous amount of money.
So the building itself or the property itself was valued at $4.6 million? Wow. I mean, that in today's dollars, it's like $3 trillion.
A lot.
Zillion.
Trillion. But then sometime in 2010, after being abandoned for a few years and a huge $21 million investment.
Huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be tremendous.
It's going to be the greatest investment ever. Building that had seen so much suffering, pain, and death, got totally revamped as a destination hotel. Because why not the place like that to turn into a hotel?
Yeah, why not?
The 74-room Hotel Parq Central opened in September of 2010, and the entire front of the property still features a beautiful restored grand staircase, and the frames and the tile below the circa 1920s style windows were also saved to keep the historic feel and look.
It does look very similar to the hospital still.
Okay, yeah, good. I mean, I'm glad they kind of kept the history about it, not turned it into
I don't know if that's good.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's good to turn into a hotel in the first place.
Well, I mean...
It's like the whole, do you want ghosts? Because this is how you get ghosts.
That's how you get ghosts. Maybe that was the plan all along.
Oh. It's a conspiracy.
It is. The hotel is a beautiful property in the heart of Albuquerque, and the rooms and lobbies have all been transformed from a very sterile and dark environment to a very welcoming and warm environment where guests find rest, hopefully.
Maybe.
Yeah. But some say that the ghosts from the past are still lingering throughout the property. Spooky. Well, the history of this property is very intriguing, but one of the most intriguing things about this location is the paranormal happenings that actually go on there. I guess that if any place were to be haunted, this would be the place.
Yeah.
From the railroad hospital to potential tuberculosis hospital and a psychiatric hospital for children. That's a lot of energy that has come and gone throughout the years.
Yeah, hi. If you could just go ahead and stop making hotels out of psychiatric hospitals.
Or make more.
That'd be great.
Make more.
Thanks.
And I feel if there actually, that energy that's been there, and I feel like if there are actual ghosts, that is one of the key ingredients that you kind of need for a haunt.
Listen, I've walked by there before it was the hotel, and I used to get the creepiest feeling just being close to that building. Like, it just feels really sad.
You're a wimp.
Okay.
You walk by a building and feel sad.
Well, it just felt like really depressing.
Okay. Well, I mean, why not? I guess it's a hospital. Whenever time I'm in a hospital, period, I feel a little depressed.
Yeah, that's true.
So during these times when it was a psychiatric hospital.
So you're just going to discount my connection to the psychic world?
You fucking A, I am. During the times when it was a psychiatric hospital, workers had reported sightings of ghosts, hearing voices, scratches appearing on your skin out of nowhere, hearing footsteps. And I actually reached out to several friends of mine who worked there while it was a psychiatric hospital.
What?
Yeah. I know several people that have worked there. So this is a friend of mine. Her name is Crescenda Jamnicki. Shout out, guys.
Hey.
This is a little snippet she wrote for us to listen to. Okay. So I began working at Memorial Psych Hospital in 2001 as a mental health technician, an MHT. And the hospital at that time had a 58 bed capacity and offered an acute psychiatric services for those kiddos. All school age patients attended on an on-site school, and an intensive outpatient services were made available to all patients at the time of the discharge or the continuum of care if desired. Now, the patient care areas of the main hospital building were established based on the age of said patient. So a child unit ages 5 through 11 was located on the north wing of the second floor. An adolescent unit ages 12 to 17 was located on the south wing of the second floor. And the adult unit ages 18 and up consisted of both wings of the third floor. Now, due to the fact that the building itself was erected as an historic healthcare sanitarium, and then coupled with all the 20th century suicide abated psychiatric quote unquote upgrades, to say that the building is creepy is putting it lightly.
What's an abated psychiatric upgrade?
I don't necessarily know.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Yeah, we're going to have to Google that. Thank you, Chris, for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, not awesome.
I've known 3 people that worked there during that time period, and they have all heard the stories of this place. And a few of them had seen things themselves or heard things. But it's hard to get people to open up about those things.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be seen as that person.
Yeah. Some of the Hotel Parq Central patrons have said that they have had their own experiences with the paranormal, including many sightings of different apparitions, and guests have also reported having their bed sheets pulled off of them in the middle of the night. Also of a lady who was seen in the hallways. Apparently she just stands there and watches people. Which if that had happened to me, I'd be pretty shook.
Oh yeah. That would be freaky.
Yeah. And personally, I've been to quite a few spots that were called haunted, and to a few places that I think should have been haunted. Yeah. But unfortunately, I have not, as of yet had any experiences with anything paranormal, unfortunately. And I guess, I just have to be lucky, or, I'm not running around with these spots with actual paranormal investigative devices to help me discover these entities.
Spoiler alert.
And I will continue to try to see a ghost or something, because who wouldn't want to see a ghost? And who knows, maybe we'll have some episodes or something where we actually get to investigate these places.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, wink.
Yeah.
Wink.
So you're saying you're skeptical.
I am.
But you're not unwilling to explore the evidence.
Oh, I want to believe.
Okay.
I would love to know that there's something after death, but I feel like I can usually disprove most proof of the paranormal, whether it be dust said to be orbs or just elaborate hoaxes.
Yeah.
But the idea of being able to, kind of fuck with living souls would be a blast.
Hell yeah.
So hopefully it is all true and I get a chance to do so. Who would you haunt?
Who would I haunt? That's a good question.
I don't think I would have anyone specific. I think I would just mess with people.
I think I would just mess with people in general.
Yeah.
If I haunted anybody, maybe my son, just to give him a hard time.
Yeah, just constantly be on his case about it.
Be like, are you really going to do that in your life right now?
So a lot of investigators have used different, devices to help them, I guess, locate the paranormal.
Yeah.
The EVPs, the investigators use multiple forms, cameras, flashlights, where they kind of
infrared cameras.
Yeah. And voice recorders for EVP or electronic voice phenomenon.
Yeah. Spirit boxes.
Yeah. So, okay. Here's my thing with the spirit box. I have a very hard time having any validity with it.
Okay.
I cannot honestly stand it. I just really do not find much credibility in listening to a rapid succession of radio static.
So let's talk about what it is for people that don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my understanding. Okay. Like I said, I'm not an expert on these things. This is just my understanding of it, is that basically what it does is it scans unused radio frequencies, and it does it in such a rapid succession that it would not make sense for you to be able to hear a voice coming out of it.
Because it'd have to be on multiple frequencies.
Well, they just go through each frequency so fast that supposedly it wouldn't have a chance to be like, hey, let's go get dinner. Or, like, how would you hear a phrase?
You might hear like,
yeah. But I have a hard time